Hello, my name is Eleanor McNulty and I am an Italian tutor at Essex Adult Community Learning. At ACL, we are celebrating the life of Florence Nightingale, the famous nurse. Florence Nightingale was born in Florence in Italy in 1820 and was named after the city. The family moved back to England in 1821, so she may not have spoken very much Italian. In Italian, Florence is called Firenze. According to UNESCO, Florence has as much as 1/3 of the world's art heritage. Florence is located in Tuscany, which is in central Italy. The Florentine dialect is the basis of modern Italian. Here are 10 fun facts about Florence. Pinocchio, the fairy tale character whose nose grows every time he tells a lie, came from Florence. The river in Florence is called the Arno. Florence has been flooded twice, once in 1333 and once in 1966. Both times this happened on November the 4th. This caused huge damage to artworks and many have not yet been restored. The Medici family ruled Florence on and off from 1434 to 1737. They were a banking family and very rich, and then they became politicians. Their wealth initially came from the wool trade. The Medici family financed the invention of the piano and opera, and they funded St. Peter's Dome in Rome. They were also patrons of Michelangelo, Galileo, and Leonardo da Vinci. The word Medici actually means doctors. The word medico means one doctor. Medici means doctors. To make a noun that ends in an O, plural, in Italian, you change the O to an I. Italians don't add S's to words to make them plural. There is an Italian word dottore, but that often means you have a degree. It could be in medicine, but it could be also in anything. There is a saying that everyone is a dottore in Italy. The Ponte Vecchio is the oldest bridge in Florence. Ponte means bridge and Vecchio means old. The Vasari corridor runs above it. This was built so that the Medicis could get from the Palazzo Pitti to Palazzo Vecchio, safe from being assassinated. During the World War II, Florence was besieged by the Germans several times. They blew up all of the city's bridges except for the Ponte Vecchio, which Hitler found too beautiful to be destroyed. It is said that Benito Mussolini invited Hitler to be his guest of honour to visit Florence and enjoy the view from the Vasari corridor. Hitler visited Florence on May the 9th, 1938, and Mussolini created one large viewing gallery for the Führer by transforming the 3 windows in the centre of the bridge into one big gallery. Enchanted by the view, Hitler ordered his forces to spare Ponte Vecchio when the Nazi forces were bombing all the bridges in Florence to slow down the Allies in 1944. The Ponte Vecchio is also famous for the jewellers that line either side of it. From the late Middle Ages, Florentine's money, in the form of the gold florin, financed the development of industry all over Europe, from Britain to Bruges to Lyon and Hungary. Florentine bankers financed the English kings during the 100 Years' War. What you can see in the picture, of course, is just a cent. Italy is famous for its food. One famous dish associated with Florence is BISTECCA alla FIORENTINA, which is a T-bone steak. Prices on the menu are often per kilo. You may notice that the bread served at your table as you're waiting for your meal in Florence is quite plain. This is due to the fact that this bread is traditionally made without salt. It is said that back in the Medici period, there was a feud between Pisa, a large port city in Tuscany, and the Medici-owned area of Florence. Because of this feud, Pisa cut off the supply of salt to any lands owned by the Medicis as a revenge and show of power, forcing the people to make their bread without salt. They still use the salt-free recipe today, even though they can get salt, of course. Gelato, or ice cream, is famous all over Italy. Here are some of the more popular flavours. Crema looks like the word cream, but really it's custard. Cioccolato, I'm sure you know that one. Pistacchio is pistachio. CH is pronounced like a K in Italian. Stracciatella is vanilla with little bits of chocolate in it. Mandorla is almond. Limone is lemon. Fragola is strawberry. Bacio means kiss and is a mixture of chocolate and hazelnuts. You can choose to have your ice cream in a coppetta, a tub, or a cono, which is a cone. A cornetto sounds like it ought to be an ice cream, but it's actually a croissant. Florence is very famous for its art, and probably its most famous statue is David, which was made by Michelangelo. Michelangelo was only 26 when he sculpted the statue of David. It is carved from a single block of Carrara marble. The statue is 17 foot high, and a replica can be seen for free in the Piazza della Signoria. The original is in an art museum nearby. The statue represents David, who killed Goliath. The statue wasn't damaged in the Second World War, but an arm was broken by a political activist in 1527 and a vandal hacked off a toe in 1991. The dome of the cathedral, which is called the Duomo is the word for cathedral in Italian, is a very iconic view of Florence. On Easter Sunday, just outside the Duomo, there is the scoppio del carro, which means the explosion of the cart. The 9-metre antique cart is dragged by white oxen decorated with garlands and spring flowers. The cart is loaded with fireworks. There is a wire from the fireworks attached to a mechanical dove which is above the altar inside the church. The cardinal inside the church lights the dove and it flies out of the cathedral and lights the cart of fireworks. The fireworks go on for quite some time and are very noisy. If the whole thing is successful, it's supposed to bring a good harvest, and usually lots of tourists. Florence has its own football game, calcio storico. Calcio means kick in Italian, and it's what the Italians call football. Calcio storico, or calcio fiorentino, originated in the 1400s. Rich aristocrats played this type of football, and even some popes joined in. The games could get quite violent. Today, 3 matches are played each year in June. The game used to be so violent that sometimes there were even deaths. Certain tactics are no longer allowed to keep the players safer. There are 4 teams. Santa Croce, they are the Azzurri. Azzurro means blue. Santa Maria Novella, they are the Rossi. Rosso means red. Santo Spirito, Bianchi. Bianco means white. And San Giovanni, the Verdi. Verde means green. 10 fun facts about Florence, the city of birth of Florence Nightingale. Bye. Ciao.